talk a little bit about
Yes.
your experience working with me in my copy coaching program, and just start off with, any of your thoughts, like
Yeah,
what was it like for you? And we can
sure.
start with like
Okay,
a broad
so
overview.
like you said in the
Let's
beginning,
say
we
that.
did sort of like a service exchange. And that was awesome because I wasn't 100% sure if I was even ready for like learning about email copy. But you had this, you first of all, you were set up beautifully for, I think, anywhere anybody is on the road, including me, who really didn't even know where to start. You just started with a structure that was really simple and had good questions to open me up to who my people are, what is my actual message, teaching me what a nurturing sequence even was at that point, and just really able to give me guidance each step of the way without feeling like I felt like I had a great guidance and accountability, but I never had like homework or like really deep, what am I trying to say? It was an easy and valuable experience that got a product out of it.
Okay, that makes me wonder, like, what maybe you were thinking before we start working together,
Yeah,
like what it
well,
would be like. Because it sounds like it maybe sounded
yeah,
like, oh, I'm gonna have to do
definitely.
this, I'm gonna
So
have to do
part of
that.
the reason I hadn't started email yet was because of the idea of it being an overwhelming, large task that like was never ending, and how was I going to come up with so many pieces of content and like that kind of feeling. So my thought was that sort of I'd be learning how to become that copywriting machine or something. I'm not quite sure, but I think I just expected in my head that it would take something different to produce a like a right email. Maybe that's what it is. And what you kind of
Mm,
showed me was that,
mm,
and what I should have known as a life coach, but you don't know these things when you're dealing with them, was that it really was about opening up to the
mm.
awareness of who I'm speaking to, how I want to take care of them, how I want them to feel, and what the point was. It's really just a few components that once I could get clear on it, the rest could start falling into place of like the structure and the how and the what's the right order and those types of things.
Yeah, I do feel like you had some insights around. So you
Mhm.
have a strong fan base on Facebook that you have really built. Um, and so you were trying to figure out, okay, so I have I have my community on Facebook. I have this idea about email marketing, but you just couldn't quite figure out like what's the
Right.
connection there? You know, what's the purpose? What
Yeah.
am I trying to do? Can you talk a little bit about
It's been
that?
a little
I know
while,
it's
but
been
I
a
think
while,
I know what
so
you're talking about. And I think I can tell you like kind of where we got to and where that was for me. So yeah, my biggest obstacle through all of this has been, I don't want to bother people. What if I'm selling too much? You know, these types of things, which I think a lot of new entrepreneurs probably go through. So my idea was, well, I have this Facebook community. I've created a really great conversational like relationship on there. How do I now make that email, and what will that make me look salesy? Is really like what was the big worry and question.
mm,
And I think what you taught me
mhm,
was
mhm,
there's really room. It's not an either or. It's not a one tool is sales and one tool is relationship building. This is another tool in your toolbox that you can use to keep enhancing that relationship and nurturing it. What I was seeing in my head was like, how do I get clients? Like bottom line, that's all I wanted with everything, right? But what your like program helped me to see is that it's really not just about how do I get clients. It's about how do people that want to work with me stay connected to me and nurtured by me when they're not actually working with me yet. I can't work with a million clients today. So when my roster's full someday, it would be great if I already had this email sequence working to give them, somebody said, give them the hot cocoa in the line while they're waiting to come into my store. Like that's how I've been seeing my emails since we've talked about that. Yeah,
oh,
it's
I
like,
love that.
it's not that it's like I'm trying to sell them in a way outside of Facebook. It's just, here's another way we can stay connected.
Right. Yeah. And you had even talked about the piece of
Yes.
like the consent piece with the email because there's more choice with the consent versus
That
on
was like
social
really a
media,
huge part
you
actually.
know.
And that's helped me. Actually, you helping me with the consent around the email part has helped me in the social media realm too. But yeah, that was the other piece was I was hesitant about the email piece because of the me feeling like it might be a salesy thing. But what you brought up so clearly and like duh was I'm looking for people to opt in. I never want people to feel like they've just been bombarded by me. Like that like, oh my gosh, where did you come from? I want them to have opted in and be interested in what I have to say or do or give or offer. And you have to click open on an email. There's no more opt in possibility than getting somebody to say yes. So then I had to get really clear about, oh wait, maybe I'm scared that they won't opt in and then do all that self work. And that's where we are now. It's okay, I'm happy. If you opt in, great. If you don't, great. But no matter where we do it, I'm trying to keep that clean. And emails are real easy when to keep clean.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that because I know a lot of entrepreneurs are on social media. They may, like yourself, have created and nurtured a community there, and now they want to nurture a community through email, as you're saying. It's another tool to use. And I know
Ah,
that hot
take it.
cocoa
I heard it
analogy.
from somebody
That's
else.
so good.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's so good. Yeah, that's totally what it's like. Yeah, just now how do I grow and scale and keep nurturing just through another platform? Because, you know, social media, there's a lot of people on social media, but there's a lot of people on email too, and they check their emails. And even though a lot of people feel like they have a love-hate relationship with their emails because they're like, oh, I get so many emails, I don't even check my emails. I don't read. I mean, I check my emails, but I don't read like 75% of whatever emails I get from businesses. So there's like a lot of mindsets there too. Like how are you thinking of
Yep.
yourself as an email reader? And then how is that affecting, like how might that be holding you back from actually using email marketing because of the way that
You
you're thinking about it
got
personally
me through a
yourself?
huge mindset block with that one because I was not an email reader at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm still not very big one, but I'll tell you what changed. After we worked together or during that time when I started to understand this and when you asked me about that, and I had to admit to you, like, I never read email, I started to pay attention to whose emails I was willing to open and whose I wasn't. And then I started to pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to opening the emails I was willing to open and like understanding like I dug into that. And I think what was going on, and I bet you this is true for so many people, is I didn't want to get talked into buying. That's number one. Which doesn't happen. That was like fear that I, had around my own mindset. But number two, now that I'm reading them, I am loving the emails that of the people that I'm like really digging. Like now I've got high quality ones in my inbox and I'm like, oh, I'm keeping that one. Oh, I'm keeping that one. That was so good. Such inspiration. So it's not just that I'm using it for
Yeah.
like as examples of what I could do for my work, but it's like truly like, oh my God, this is a motivational email. I could look at this someday and actually feel the thing I'm trying to anchor my feeling to today. Like these are really helpful. So I have now
Yeah.
sold
Yeah.
myself on the idea that emails are so valuable, but I want to be one of those ones. I want to bring the good content, the rich content, not the I need a client content. Mhm.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you definitely can bring that because everything you say has so much value and adds so much value. So, yeah, it just started with that one thought you just said was I don't want to be talked into buying something. And then actually looking looking at your behavior with email and then seeing like which ones you wanted to open and then realizing like the content inside isn't how you had um how you had worked it up in your head and just rewiring that and saying, oh, I love, like, I really am inspired by this and I do want to open these. And
Right.
that's helping you move forward, which is
Yeah. And
awesome. That's so
again,
great to hear.
started with you and taking in just the account of human design of like I have power over this internal guidance system. I have the authority. The email does not have the authority. So I can open it up and look at it and see what it is. And once I deemed it okay to look at, I found gold. Just like when we deem ourselves okay to show, we show gold. Like just because we don't know is something safe or, you know, safe to show, the gold in there, it's not for us to know. It's just for us to show up, or it's just for us to open. It's just for us to like uncover, and then the gold shows up in an email. Who knows? Or in your system.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel like, as a coach, working with a copy coach, like what was that like? Because I know I work with a lot of coaches who are getting copy coaching, and like
Okay,
what does
I'll
that
be
what does that
honest. So
mean
my first,
to you?
I'll say probably after our second session, my thought was, holy crap, she should be a life coach. And then I thought, wait, she's a life coach that coaches copy. Like, this is amazing. So it was like, I had to like, because I had to calm myself down from thinking of you as a copywriting teacher and understand what a copy coach is. And what a
Hmm.
copy coach is for me from working with you was someone who understands that it's not just about finding the right words. It's about like finding the thoughts behind what's going on. And so you work as a life coach, working with you as a coach, you really helped me in that coaching space of asking questions and letting me find the answers I needed to find. You didn't tell me the template. You did have some templates and ideas and thoughts that you could give me for examples and stuff, but like you didn't tell me the thing that was going to get me the thing. You asked the questions, you unfolded, you had a process that I could work within so that when the answers came, we could plug it in there and go, okay, here's how we'll move forward now. So working with a copy coach from a life coach point of view was invaluable and highly recommended over working with somebody. I would say working with a consultant or somebody that's going to like do done for you. Maybe that's there someday, and I know you even have those solutions, but even that, I would venture you ask a lot of questions to get to the heart of who you're with. And that was just really surprising. Actually, I was like, wow. I remember at one point you sat quietly when I answered a question and you didn't just keep going. You waited so that I could actually answer the real question. And I was like, oh man, I'm in a real place here. I'm here. I have to do the work here.
We did a lot of digging. There was a lot of digging together.
I was like, oh, this is what it is. We're not going to breeze over this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
We're
was
gonna
really
get through
great.
this. Um, mhm, mhm. Yes, that's what I love about, this copy coaching program is that it's holistic, and it's not just I'm going to
Mhm.
teach you what words to use. It is really about, okay, how do you feel and what are you thinking about whatever it is, like writing or marketing or selling or your offers or
Right.
who you're working with, all those things, all play a role in
Mhm.
the words that you're going to use. And so to be able to dig into that and uncover all that is going to help with, okay, now how can I work on my writing skills to then nurture in the
Yes.
way that I want to
Such a good
nurture, that's
what you just
authentic
said.
to
Here's what
me.
I have to tell you this because I'm proud of myself and you're a teacher at heart. So maybe you'll get it. I love Grammarly. Like I really love Grammarly. I
Uh,
pay for the full subscription. It's just one of my favorite things since years ago. And working with you, like I've always been good at Grammarly. I get great grammar results, whatever. If you guys don't know Grammarly, it's a dorky thing for me. But working with
that's great.
you now, my
That's great.
tones on Grammarly match much more often what I want the tone to sound like than having to try to reword it or figure it out or just like be okay with what it is. It's like your questions, your digging in, your helping me find the message for the email sequence has allowed me to get clearer on messaging across the board so that now when I use Grammarly, it doesn't just say great job on using commas. It's like, wow, you nailed that, like tone. Like it like gives me like talk about celebration because I get so excited. Yes.
Confetti.
It's if it
Did
doesn't,
you
I
give me
literally
confetti?
see it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's like, yeah. So I'm
Grammarly
really
confetti.
not. I this may be a hot take, but I'm not a huge fan for myself of using the new AI tools to generate your content. And part of that is because the value of what comes out of here is so important. And you're very good at helping bring that value out and like recognize it even when I didn't even know where to start. And so I appreciate somebody with that gift because we're going to need it more and more now.
Yes,
No,
yes, with all of the AI.
that's
I'm
fine.
not going to go there,
Opinions
but
everywhere, and that's fine. And I really value human design and copy coaching in this time and world and life, right, that we're living in.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with the messaging that you're saying, it's ultimately how are you using words to help the other person, not to help, but to make the other person like feel the way you want them to feel. Because that is something where, people talk about aligned messaging. Like, what does that mean? It's really like you're saying something and the feeling you're trying to convey with your words is actually the
Yeah.
feeling that people are getting from what you're writing, which is a very, it can feel like very nebulous, but it's a skill that you can learn, and it does have a lot to do with what we've been talking about is, what are your own thoughts and feelings around how you want to market and who you are as a business and what are your values, and what do you want to
Yes.
bring for your
Yeah.
community. So thank you so much, Jamie, for coming and chatting.
I
Oh my
could do
gosh, I
this
love
every
our chats
day.
so
Yes,
much.
I
I really
appreciate you too
appreciate
so much.
you.
This was just wonderful. And I am so grateful that you have taken the investment you have on yourself with the work that we did together. Like to hear all of this that's going on for you is so exciting. So, and I can only imagine that what you know about that bit about your human design translates into helping your clients too, because it's just deeper questions, more you coming to the table. It's all good.
Yeah, it really has been something that I'm so glad I was able to invest my time and energy into because it's just so valuable. So
Yes.
where you mentioned you're on Facebook. So how can people connect with you? I know we're
So
like over the
I
river in
do check my
Instagram right now.
Instagram, but I will admit most of my stuff comes through Facebook because that's just where I am mostly. I also have a
Mhm.
free 30-minute solution call. Like if you're like just like, I don't know what this is, but I want to know a little more and somebody could show me my chart. We dive in for 30 minutes. It's just a really fun time to get you on the path of what this thing means, who it is, and how you could take action today to solve for whatever's going on in your life. That's fun because it's 30 minutes of us sort of getting to know each other too. And all of that information I'll give through the comments, but it's all on my profile. And yeah.
Okay. I'll
Oh
put
yeah,
it in
perfect.
the
Okay, great. And
attention too.
yeah, otherwise just I'm up for conversations like I said, and happy to connect, happy to work with you with your human design, with any of this stuff, trying to figure out who you are. I'm one of the girls that can help you figure it out on another side.
Yes, yes, you can. I can say that 100%.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Jamie, for taking your time. I know you're very busy, and thank you for anyone listening to the replay. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in. We are so excited that you're here listening. And if you want to connect more with me, I'm on Instagram at Desk Plant Creatives with a dot in between Desk Plant Creatives. Okay. And I'm like, that didn't make sense. So I'm here on Instagram. You can always message me here. If you go to my bio, I have a link there, and I have my free guide on how to use storytelling through email. And you can go check out my website and all that there.
Thank you.
So
Bye.
thank you.